And today's ride is from Reefton up towards Westport, turn left, come down the coast road, down to Greymouth and back up the Grey Valley to Reefton again. So I'm about 15 k's north of Reefton at the present time. This is Larry's Creek here, runs back up into the Southern Alps there. The temperature's around 14.5 degrees today. We've had heavy rain over the last 2 days since I got out of the Molesworth station there, but I was in a lovely, warm, comfortable environment in Reefton, so my body is replenished. I've checked the bike over. I bought myself some new gloves here, and they're a big improvement. So today's ride is to break them in here around the coast road. Back in 1967, when I was a boy of about 14 or 15, I lived in Reefton, and I was awoken at early in the morning, about 5 a.m. to the sound of rumbling, rolling and crashing. It was the Anangah Earthquake I was to find out, and the epicenter of it is just there to the left here at Anangah Junction. What a life-changing event was. I thought it was the end of the world. My brother and I were sleeping in a little hut. For such a dramatic event, I think there was a loss of life of around 5 people on the day, and maybe several after. Now look, I've put you wrong, because here is where the house used to be, and there's another one up there in its place now already. But her house was just here, and that's where the catastrophe happened, with the road falling in. So I'm in the lower Buller Gorge now. Upper Buller Gorge is towards Murchison. The lower Buller Gorge is from Anangah Junction down to Westport. These hills are now infested with goats and things. They're everywhere. I've already seen about 20 goats on the side of the road and into the hills right around here. This highway runs down the south bank of the Buller River. The Buller River starts away up at Lake Rotoiti there and drains its way all the way down to sea, but it's met by the Anangah and the Waitāhu and Larry's Creek. All those bigger tributaries drain into the Anangah, and they all eventually make their way down this Buller River and out to sea. That's Berlin's Hotel there. I don't know whether it's still a pub or not, but that was a popular watering hole. It's probably like this. All used to be a lot tighter in years gone by here, sort of one-way traffic, but over the years with bigger machinery and a bit of dynamite, they've been able to widen her out to lessen the impediments on the road. But it's a lovely drive down round through here. These are mainly beech forests through here. Beech is not real good for timber. It's got given me a bit of trouble turning off and on the camera. They're a different feel to the ones that I had riding through the Molesworth. So I've just got to get my dexterity right to be able to flip the camera off and on. There's a nice view of it down the river here. I just got to check no one's behind me as I concentrate on traffic. You're allowed to cut corners a little bit, aren't you? It's called poetic license. I think it's okay as long as you do it safely. I bet a driving instructor would say don't ever cross the line, but anyway, such is life. Now these new gloves, they just seem to be a touch longer in the finger, so I'm brushing the brake as I go off and on there, you know. I have got an adjustment on this brake here, but I just like on the clutch. I've just got an adjuster on it there, but I'm just getting used to that. See the length of those fingers there are just a bit longer than I'm used to. But that's why you go for rides to get familiar with your equipment. That's jet boat country, isn't it? The range of mountains to my left is called the Paparoa range. It runs like a spine all the way down the coastline here back down to Greymouth. I got a boyhood friend that I grew up with in Reefton there, Trevor Johnson. He was the first to ever walk from this end to that end, and I think he went away up that bloody creek I just give you a flash of there, and I think he took about 10 days to walk the full length, he and another bloke camping out, and they wrote a book about their journey called Into the Wilderness by Trevor Johnson. That's when he was young and fit and could carry a great big pack. Trevor's just turned 70 now, but we're all getting older. But he's at least got that book to open the pages and remember his travels and his adventure when he was a young fella. Well, I just see I've crossed the 9 Mile Bridge, so we're not far from Westport now, or at least the turn-off. But I just was remembering there what happened one time when I had my camper van for the first time. It was an old Volkswagen, and Bev and I were camped there at the Berlins there. And the Berlin's got a play park there for kids and everything like that, and a place you can pull up in your camper van. So anyway, Bev and I are comfortable there. We sleep in our own sleeping bags when we're in the van and it's cold in the winter, you know. You can make it up into a double bed, but it's better to be in nice and warm, and you don't disturb each other in the sleeping bag. So this particular night, it was cold out. Yes, it was bloody cold, and I was snuggled down there about 2 AM. I get a bang on the door. Hello, here's a stop sign. Get a bang on the door. Bev says to me, "Who's that?" I don't know who it is. You better go and see, you know, all those sort of things. I better get back so I can see what's going on here. I've come a bit too far for. I didn't want to get out in the middle of the bloody night and see what someone on the door was just going to lay low. But anyway, I got up and I didn't have many clothes on, a shower and a sleeping bag, so I just, what do you want? And, well, there's a bloody drunk out the door. He said, "Would you give us a push?" Oh, I said, "No, I won't give you a push. I got no clothes on. I'm not getting out in the middle of the night." So I just shut the door and got back into bed, and Bev says, "Who was that?" Oh, I said, "Some drunk bugger there. It must be at the pub or something." She says, "Oh, go and give him a hand." "Oh, it's all very well for you." "Now, go on. You remember when we were broken down and someone gave us a hand late at night? You can repay the kindness." So I slipped me bloody clothes on, me boots and me jacket and trousers, and out I went. It's pitch black out there. So I grabbed my torch and have a look around. "Are you there?" "Over here," he says. "Where are you?" And I shone the torch around and I seen him on the swing. He said, "Give us a push." The bastard was drunk there, swinging backwards and forwards on the swing. Couldn't believe it. Here we go, got the green light, go. Set her alight. Back in the 80s and 90s, I worked for the West Coast Area Health Board as a mental health nurse, and I was working in the community team. This is Westport over the bridge there. See Westport that way and down there, and this is the way we're going to go out here to Carter's Beach, Cape Foulwin. But I work with a wonderful team of mental health staff here in Westport area who served Westport and further north up to Karamea and things like there. And I would come up from Hokitika and visit them quite regular. But anyway, I think Westport's a lovely little town there. It's got a port there, and some of the bigger boats used to come in there, especially a cement boat to pick up the cement from a cement works. The cement works is finished now. Maybe it's worn out and done its lifespan, but that was a big employer out here on the Cape, and they would bring it in and bring the cement products, and it would go out of the port here by ship. My dad served in the New Zealand Army during the Second World War up in the Solomon Islands and that, and to support the soldiers and that, when they came back from the war, there was a Returned Servicemen Association, the RSA. Now that was a gathering place for mates to get together and have a bit of froth and enjoy in convivialities and do the annual Anzac parades, etc. But also they were supportive for the family, and Carter's Beach here was a popular place for the annual RSA picnics. So we would come here and we'd have running sports and sack races and wheelbarrow races with the kids. It was all good fun. Very fond memories of doing that. Sometimes we'd come through on the rail car as a bit of a novelty. Sometimes we'd come through in buses, or I also remember coming through in convoys too, and all families piled into the car, and we'd set up a tent and have our annual picnic there at the Carter's Beach, because coming from inland there, it was a bit of a novelty to be able to come and jump and splash and jump waves, etc. Always a fond memory from the past. Well, this is the site of the big cement works. Look, she's all hit the deck now, but it was all over there. Great big stacks and things, and great big furnaces and to dry the limestone, etc. But now it's somebody else has got it. An asbestos hazard area. Okay, we'll go careful. But they had big roads here for the industry, and I think that might be it there. Let's have a look at that. For the big trucks coming in and backwards and forwards, carting the lime. Yeah, see, that's the road that the big trucks would go on. Just keep them off the public roads here. Now we've got to get back on the highway. Let's see if she'll do it. Here she's going to. Boom! So the main trucking highway is out here to the left, where the big fellas went. Kept them separated from the public road. There's the Cape Fowlin Lighthouse directly ahead up there. This point promontory is sticks out into the sea quite a bit from the west coast here. Let's see what I can go here. Now, I haven't been here for a wee while. Maybe they want you to walk up there rather than be an idiot and go up there on a motorbike. Let's see if the road takes us up. There it is there, hey? See those two circles there? No motorbikes and no downhill, so you got to walk, eh? Well, that's a decision made for us. There's a view here out to the steeples, they call it, the rocks out off Cape Town. Ooh, Betsy. Yeah, so out there is what they call the steeples. That's out off the end of Cape Fowlin. A good place for mussels and all that sort of thing, and fishing and crayfish. Oh, Okay, well, I've got the Paparoa National Park on my left side here, with it's all the hills and takes you right up onto the mountain tops there. And out to my right I have the Tasman Sea. The sea's a bit bubbly today. A family member of mine, Johnny Tuck, used to have a batch just here and amongst these rocks here, and it's spectacular when the sea's at high tide. So I'll pull in here and I'll give you an idea. I can see there's the gap in the rocks just there. Can you see it? It doesn't look as though it's working at the moment, but we'll call in here and I'll see if I can show you what I'm talking about. I don't know who owns the batch now, but this is the Fox River. I've had trouble with the batteries of the GoPro. They were all on green charge last night, but they must be at the end of their lives, and it's not giving me the longevity that I'm after. So I'm down to my last battery here, and it may get us to Hokitika, down to Greymouth. The bike's going well, I'm feeling good. The weather is just excellent. Like this rain that we were expecting didn't come in, so it's okay for me. I'm going to call into Noel Lemmings in Greymouth there. I've got to pick up a little electronic part there so I can improve this battery. I'll go straight from the GoPro to a power pack and usurp these redundant batteries. No one coming, so we'll have the bridge. The bike and I are getting to be more and more in harmony. I know her noises and I know her vibrations and I know her power range, and it's just automatically that I give her a hand with the gear changes and things like that now. And I suppose that's the same with a lot of people riding their bikes. They get to know what they want, don't they? Like so this, you know, just let her walk around here and you can just ease her on, and she's got beautiful torque to slip up to speed again. I keep saying it, I'm really enjoying this bike. For a starter, I couldn't use all the power that she's got, but now I just seem to tap her right out and she just loves it. So responsive, and she can brake on a bloody dime too. It's just amazing if you need to pull on it. Not that I'm a fast rider by any means, but I try to keep to my code, which I've got in front of you there. Stay upright, enjoy the ride, and get home safe. That's me code. Out to the right there, that's Point Elizabeth there. I was out there on the jet ski about 2 weeks ago. Get around that headland there, and about 10 minutes on the jet ski and you're at the Greymouth River Bar. So just up here is a place called Paparoa, then Anangah, and then I go back into Greymouth to get that part from Noel Lemmings to improve this battery situation on this bloody bike, on the camera here. It's driving me mad. Here's a contraption that I haven't seen here before. They must be building her up as a display, but this is a like an auger working at the face of the coal tickles it down through onto that bottom tray there, sends it up the conveyor belt onto these wagons here, and probably on out into other wagons. What a great idea. It's all probably redundant equipment now, and what would have taken 8 or 10 or 20 men to hoe into a coal face, this only takes 1 or 2 men to do it. Spectacular. Now this little tourist attraction here, it held me intrigued. I went there once, and you go for a ride on a 4-wheel drive or one of those unimogs there, and away you go all round his farm. He's developed trails all round, and it's spectacular, into creeks and up and down and under this bridge here, and you see these trails going over here to the left and up that hill. Away you go up there. I really enjoyed it. See these trails over here too, they're all his trails, and what a great way to spend a half a day there. I went there when it was teeming down with rain, but that made it more fun. You know, you're pushing water in front of your buggy and everything. Spectacular. Give it a go if you ever come to Greymouth here. It's just between Greymouth and Anangah. Really worth a bit of a fun here in the rurals. Well, this finishes the second third of the ride today. I'm coming into here to Greymouth now. This is the Cobden Bridge across the town, and I've got to get that part for these bloody cameras, and then we've got about 80 k's to run back up the Grey River. This is the Grey River here. Run back all that way up there to Reefton. Okay, stand by, there's more to come. The gloves are working well. They've got a bit more room in them, one thing, and I'm just getting used to the additional length of the fingers over my controls there. So that's all going good, I think. And I'm not getting the numbing or the tingling that happens when when I was breaking those other ones in. So far so good. So now we're just running up here to Dobson, and there's a little story I want to show you here. When I was a boy, I had the opportunity to go down a mine. I went down the Dauntless mine at Reefton, and we didn't have a helmet that would fit us, you see, so I thought, oh, I'll be right, you don't need a helmet. But anyway, I went down that bloody hole and walloped my head so hard on something there in the pitch black that I never went down mines again in my life. It was such a bang. But look at this here, this setup here of the steepness of the pitch that they've set up to represent hauling coal from down under. Dobson Brunnerton Heritage Park. It's good that they remember all this stuff, isn't it? But I remember this sort of facility that was right here on this spot here. We used to drive under it when we were coming down to Greymouth all the time. A big coal handling facility. Well, here it is here. Here's a better picture of it, what I remember when I was a boy. See the old cars here? 50s and 60s. The mine back this way. And out you went onto rail, and away it went that way. But that was just here somewhere. I don't know whereabouts now, but it would be about here somewhere. And these are the coal wagons that they were pulling the coal up from down deep. They would have been up and down the hole a few times, wouldn't they? Over in Aussie there they had Ned Kelly and his family all up around Glenrowan and Victoria there, but we've got a notorious Kelly gang here, and here's about the dreadful murders of the bloke George Dobson, who found this area here, Dobson, and I'm just reading there that they shot him looking for gold and things, but they got the wrong bloke. So that was the end of the explorer that found this area. Right, let's get back on the trusty steed here and we'll head up to Reefton. Still water. There used to be a train tunnel just there when I was a boy also. But it must be that they wanted to get rid of it, or it was unsafe, or something happened. But that's a grey river now, flowing down and out to Greymouth, and it drains the mountains from up Lake Brunner. That's the Arnold River, the Ahara River, up further the Grey River, and then the Little Grey. So they all, and then you've got all the drainage out of the Paparoa range too on the left coming into there. We've got rivers like Stony Creek and Caledonian Creek and what other ones coming in there? Oh, they all accumulate, Rocky Creek, and so they all come in and make the juice a lot stronger by the time it gets out over the bar, don't they? There's not many timber mills left on the coast, but this is one of them here at Stillwater. She's still rocking along here, cutting up timber. They used to load the logs here onto rail, but they've moved that into Greymouth now, so that doesn't happen here anymore. Another old pub there called the Stillwater Pub, but they become redundant. Not enough takers to buy on the froth to keep them available, keep them functioning. Now as I roll through Naheri, that's one of the little towns here, or settlements on the west coast, I'm going to turn left and show you something out here. As you can see by that sign, Birchfield Minerals Limited had the Naheri Gold Ridge. A bloke called Alan Birchfield run that. This is where he used to do his heavy maintenance for his operation here. Look at this old beauty here. What is it? A Hitachi by the colour. So all these rolling hills that you can see here, the dredge ponds, etc., were all the tailings from the whopping big gold dredge that happened here, say 15 years ago now, and it's redundant, say 8 years ago. So that's how they restore the land back to A-grade farmland. You see, it's all rolled down, the goolies are pushed under and top dressed with some nice soil, and back to good farming land. Now it's not A-grade dairy land, but you can certainly put your younger stock on here, and it's augment your farm where the main cows are milked. I'll see how close I can get to this dredge. I don't think there'll be any security down here because there's not many people like me that want to go poking around. That may be as close as I can get to you without trying devious means, so I won't do that. But you can see this is the intake here. The buckets and the dredges on this, the bucket dredge and the intake is this end here. It scoops the stuff up through that big machine there and then out the back end, out the tail. And the dredge was over the other side of the river there, right up where that shed, as you can see there, or that house. So it was scratching her way up in there and away up there further too. All that green up there, that's all been turned over and then back into this sort of pasture for cows, rehabilitated after the dredge. And because there's no traffic out here, they don't worry whether the road's a bit rumpty-doo. As we go straight through it. That seems to be the smoothest part. There's a further sawmill here at Naheri, but there was mills at Reefton and Anangah Junction and a lot of dotted all around the place, and either way down in South Westland, but they don't cut native timber now. They only cut the Pinus radiata, and so that means more specialist, smaller equipment, and lesser mills are required, close to rail.